Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Pure Faith Podcast, a podcast where we discuss all things Bible. I am your co-host, Michelle, and this is my brother, Mitchell, and we are very happy that you are joining us for this podcast. We ask that you like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to hit the notification icon to be notified when new episodes are released. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I hope I don't smell like garlic. I don't eat before I come to this, but I made something different for dinner tonight.
Okay.
I made something fast. Well, I made a taco pizza, but then I made the garlic bread mini pizzas. Have you seen this?
No.
You take the Texas toast and you
Okay.
you cook them, and then you put sauce on them, mozzarella cheese, and just like 3 pepperonis, and you put them back in the oven. And of course, I had to test one. So it
Actually
might
sounds
smell
pretty good.
like garlic. Well, we probably have plenty left over. If you're bringing me home, I might be able to give you one or two.
Okay.
Because Daniel had to swim meet, and I think they went out to eat as the team. So, like, you all needed to know that. But anyhow, it might smell like garlic.
Okay. I might smell like vomit.
Oh no! Don't. Please don't.
You gonna hear about my afternoon?
No.
Are you sure? Because I kind of want to tell it.
Oh, tell me it wasn't you.
No, it wasn't me.
It had to have been Eli.
Nope.
It was Ephraim?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Poor baby boy.
Yeah. He got sick
Oh.
while I was holding him.
Mm.
All over me.
Oh. A
It was
lot of
fun.
it.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Oh, poor guy.
It was enough to make me warm for a little bit.
Was he? That's so gross. Was he? Did he have signs of not feeling well?
Well,
Or was just pretty?
it was weird because he woke up this morning, he's perfectly fine. He ate breakfast, no issues. Our babysitter isn't babysitting this week, took the week off.
Right. Went to grandma's.
So went to
Teresa's. Yeah, Mimi's.
So
Okay.
to Paige's mom's, and the whole plan was went back to work. I'm working half days this week, and so I was, long story. The short story is about 12:45 probably. I went to go pick him up because I was getting mixed signals. Like, oh, he went down for a nap. No, he didn't fall asleep. He's really tired. He looks miserable. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll come get him. I got there to pick him up, and I got him, and yeah, he looked horrible. And I was only holding him for like 5 minutes. And he had his head down on my shoulder.
Oh, don't tell me it was like in the crease of your neck and everything.
No, the first time it went down the back of my arm. And Teresa's like, did he just spit up on you?
Spit up.
Yeah. And actually, the first time, that's kind of what it looked like. It was just that white, because all he had a bottle of milk and some yogurt. And so that first milk came up, and that's the only thing he had all afternoon. And so that is kind of what it looked like. But I'm like, I have no idea. But then I felt the back of my arm get warm. I'm like, oh, yep, I think he went over the back of my shoulder. And then he was sitting up, and I was holding him still, and Teresa was wiping me off and him off, and I just went right down the front.
Oh.
And that was not spit. That was straight vomit.
Oh.
So
that's gonna run right through your house.
I don't know, because then I took him home, and he
And
fell asleep in the car. I got him home. He really didn't feel very feverish.
Yeah.
But I gave him a little bit of Tylenol. Just in case there was. I couldn't find my thermometer thing. Just the boys play with it, and it gets mixed in with the toys, and no idea what it was. So I gave him a little bit of Tylenol, and he fell asleep. And then he ended up sleeping for, I don't even know, probably 2.5 to 3 hours. And he woke up and he was perfectly fine. Running around, playing, trying to bite his brothers.
He's big on biting.
That's his self-defense.
It is. Well, you have to when you got those brothers.
Yeah. No matter how many times we correct him, that's his go-to.
Yeah. I noticed that when we had Christmas. Sorry, we're starting a little bit earlier than usual because I was actually here on time, and I got messages about dinner because, I didn't leave a message. But anyhow, I noticed this when we came over for Christmas morning, when they got in the bouncy house. Like if somebody's in his way, he goes right for the biting.
Yep.
And Eli goes right for the ninja kick.
He does. Or sometimes he does a ninja punch.
Oh, I don't know. It's ninja.
He'll do a straight punch to the chest of Zeke. He's Zeke.
He is a ninja warrior, let me tell you. But yeah, three well-behaved young men that you are raising.
Well, they act good when they're separated.
Yeah.
So.
No, and in all honesty, they play well together. They fight well together. They are three brothers. But like you said, if you take just one out of the mix, I feel like it's so different. If you take Zeke out of it, Eli and Ephraim will play just fine. If you take Eli out of it, Zeke and Ephraim do really well together.
They do really
the
well
only thing that really doesn't work is if you take Ephraim out of the picture, because these
Zeke
two
and Eli, they butt heads. They're both old enough where they know what they want.
Yeah.
They both want what the other one has.
Exactly.
And then they had dual timeout last night. They had to go to different couches. No toys, no blankies, timeout. It didn't work.
So does it work if you make them sit together and hold hands?
I haven't tried that yet.
That's what you need to try, probably.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I've heard this. I never did it with my kids, but some people will tell me that was their punishment, is if they were fight with their siblings, that they had to sit and hold hands with them until I don't know if it was a set timer or if it was until they said, okay, we're sorry, we won't do it again, because they did not want to hold their sibling's hand.
I'm gonna have to try that one. Instead of separating them, I need to bring them
closer.
Together.
Bring them closer. Oh shoot! Wow. So you're feeling good?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Like I said, I went back to work this week. It was a short week because of Christmas. Hopefully this will actually be released the week after New Year's.
Yeah.
So
happy 2024.
Yeah. So hopefully all that went well for you.
Yes.
Yeah, so the week between Christmas and New Year's is when I went back to work. So it was a short week. Tuesday, started work about 9:30. I was done and over it.
Mario.
I pushed through, made it through my half day. The second day, I worked I started again at 9, so I'm not going in early.
Right.
So I started at 9, and I made about 11:30 before I hit that wall.
Mm-hmm.
And then today, I didn't hit the wall.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I actually could have kept working, but I had to go home take care of a sick kid.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you don't want to overdo it either.
Yeah.
So, you work half days for a couple weeks until you can build up your...
weeks. I'm done with half days. I plan on working. I might do 6 hours tomorrow.
Time out. He's done because also Mitchell just turned 40 years old while you're seeing this. Happy birthday.
That's true. I did.
Yes, happy 40th. His birthday is New Year's Eve. He will be turning 40 years old. So, yeah, you probably should push yourself to work those full days and get that youth back to you.
You're older than I am.
I am older than you. I feel much younger
50.
than you.
You're closer to 50 than I am.
I am not. That is such a lie.
50 is knocking on the door.
Not even close to 50. Oh.
You're closer than I am. I'm not even 40 yet. Well, by the time you watch this, I'll be 40. But from the time of recording this, I'm not even 40.
Old. Where's your incision?
It's down on my toe.
Oh, you're crazy. Crazy. Close to 50. Oh my God.
Closer to 50.
That's not what you said. You said you're close to 50. 50 is so far off. I couldn't even see it right now.
Why are you getting so defensive?
That was just a terrible thing to say. Matt's probably laughing.
I'm sure he is.
Matt is probably really laughing about this because you guys
he knows it's true.
Oh wait, you didn't even wear your shirt. See, Mitchell put a picture up. I got the boys' shirts for Christmas. Hey, make sure you put the picture up.
Okay.
Yeah. They're going to wear them all the time, but they forgot to wear it today.
All the time. all the time. That's what I'm going to do.
It's a really neat shirt. You guys are proud. You're
Okay.
proud of having an awesome sister.
So Bible study
what is faith?
Yes.
Yeah. It's not the awesome sister. Oh, look. I have my sweatshirt on. It says faith can move mountains. That's so awesome.
If you can see that.
I don't know, but it does. It says faith can move mountains, Matthew 17:20. That's what it says.
We're not there yet.
No, we're 2024 might see Matthew 17.
Depends how deep we go into this faith. We might not make it back to Matthew in 2024. Anyways.
This is great. Yes.
So to finish my story.
Yeah.
So tomorrow I do plan on working.
Done?
No, you just keep interrupting. So tomorrow I do plan on working till probably 2:30 because I got to pick up the boys again.
Oh, okay.
So I can't work full day. But I do plan on working about 2:30, so it'll be like 6.5 hours.
Okay.
Depending if I take a lunch. And then, the next week I want to go back full time.
You are.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm going to go back to my extended hours. I might just do 40 hours.
You might just stick with 40 for a week. I'm telling you, don't overdo it because I know when you go to the doctor, you don't ask a lot of questions, but as an awesome sister, I'm just going to tell you that if you Oh, are you okay?
Oh, just got a little something in my throat there.
I think that you don't want to overdo it. It could set you back.
I'm as spry as a 22-year-old. Hey, good news. I did get on the floor, and I was playing on the floor with Eli and Ephraim tonight.
You were able to get up?
Got down on the floor, got up and down, up and down.
When we came over for Christmas morning, you made omelets, and you were looking for olive oil, and you went down. I was like, oh boy, is he going to be able to get back up? I was like, here we go. Because you had to look at your Lazy Susan for oil, and I was like, yeah, I don't know how well this is going to go.
No, I'm getting better. I mean, I'm not making any sudden movements to the floor, but I can get down there. I can play with the boys.
Oh, good. Just don't let Eli karate kick you right in the...
I've been trying to protect that area.
Oh, my. Scary thing.
So, okay, are we ready?
Yeah, I am ready. I have no idea what page we're on, but let's...
we're starting with
page 2? Yep. Okay.
So, last week we talked about... what did we talk about?
I have no idea.
You were here.
I was here, yeah.
So we covered 2 Corinthians 11, 30 through 31, and then 2 Corinthians 12, 1 through 10. And this is where we're talking about boasting. And Paul was talking about boasting and how if we want to boast, we're going to boast in our weaknesses.
Yes. And
so now that we kind of covered that, we're going to get into what actual faith is. And the thing about this topic is it's huge. And I don't know how in-depth I'm going to go with it yet.
Okay.
Right now we're going to cover some overview type things, some more biblical definitions, some actual worldly definitions, and just kind of do an overview that way. And there are going to be some biblical examples thrown in with those. But then we're going to go over and do, Hebrews 11?
Okay.
And Hebrews 11 is known as the faith chapter. So I don't know if we're just going to read that. I really want to do a Bible study, like full Bible study on that. But there's so much there. I think it's going to end up being more like whenever we did Matthew 1. Where we did the genealogy, where we'll take certain areas and take it back to the Old Testament.
I really like the genealogy. I liked our podcast when we did that, to break it down that way.
Yeah, so we might do that because in Hebrews 11, it does mention, it talks about faith and living in faith, and then it pulls the Old Testament references in and does a brief general, like 1 to 2 verse overview of like Abraham and Noah and some of these huge characters from the Old Testament. And it just does these few verses on each one and about their faith. Well, I would like to take that
I think
and
it's a
go
great
back
idea to
and
start
actually read those
2024 like that. I
stories.
really do. I think that's a good way of doing it.
So that's the way I'm leaning.
Okay. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens,
Okay.
because that's gonna be a lot. But I mean, we're supposed to be doing a Bible study on Matthew, and
Right.
this could be a 4-month detour
Right.
that we take just on faith, which faith is a huge aspect of what we
I cannot
do here.
agree any more with you that this is a huge aspect.
So maybe this is the Lord calling us to
Yep.
follow that path. I would really love to hear what you think as far as our audience goes. I know our audience isn't huge, but we do trust you guys, and I would like the Lord to speak through you and tell us what you think. If you want us to get back to Matthew and keep following Matthew, or if you want to take this deeper detour into what faith is, mainly what biblical faith is. So that's kind of my question for all of you. You can leave a comment on this video. Like I said, our audience base is not huge, so chances are you know us.
And you have our cell phone numbers.
You have our numbers, or you see us, or you have access to somebody who has our numbers. You can get our numbers and you can text us or call us directly.
Yeah. See, and I'm huge on change. Like, if someone says, "Hey, we're going to change something up," I'm like, "Let's do this." I know some people are very much like, "Oh, let's not change anything. I like the way things are." But you say, I mean, if the Lord's talking to you saying, "Hey, let's take this detour," because obviously faith is a part of Matthew too.
Yes.
So I mean,
look at your shirt.
I mean, look at my shirt.
17:20.
Matthew
Faith and Move
17:20.
Mountains.
Just saying.
I'm sure we'll cover that at some point in this.
Exactly.
So yeah, just reach out to us.
I think
Let
it's a
us
good
know.
idea.
But
All right,
for
so let's
now,
do this. What is faith?
Yes, for now we're going to cover this. What is faith? And the simple biblical explanation is believing without seeing.
Believing without seeing.
That is the most basic and simple that we can get the definition of faith.
And that's how we live our life every day.
Yes. And the verse that I chose, or the verses that I chose to go with this, I don't want to get into Hebrews yet. So I pulled from John 20:24 through 29, and this is the story of Doubting Thomas. A lot of you are probably well aware of the story of Doubting Thomas, but I come back to this a lot because this is one of my favorite passages. But so this reads, "Now Thomas, one of the 12, called the twin, was not with them when Jesus came. So the other disciples told him, 'We have seen the Lord.' But he said to them, 'Unless I see in his hands the mark of the nails, and place my finger into the mark of the nails, and place my hand into his side, I will never believe.' 8 days later, his disciples were inside again, and Thomas was with them. Although the doors were locked, Jesus came and stood among them and said, 'Peace be with you.' Then he said to Thomas, 'Put your finger here, and see my hands, and put out your hand and place it in my side. Do not disbelieve, but believe.' Thomas answered him, 'My Lord and my God.' Jesus said to him, 'You have believed because you have seen. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed.'" And so that last verse there, blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed. That is the definition of faith, the simple biblical explanation of faith. So that is, again, like I said, the simple definition. But there's also a worldly way of viewing faith. And when it comes to the difference between biblical definition and a worldly definition, they're very similar.
Okay.
It's just they're taking the biblical aspect and applying it to other things. So the actual definition that you would find in like Merriam-Webster or any of those other dictionaries is faith is complete trust and confidence in someone or something. again, that's pretty basic as well. An example is I have faith in this chair.
Yeah.
That when I sit down, it's going to hold me up. And we have that kind of faith in everything. Why are you laughing?
I didn't laugh. You keep looking at me.
And you say,
That's the example you're going to use.
Well, yeah, because it's right here under me. I have faith that Michelle's going to be mean to me.
I'm not mean.
So another source that I used when I was looking for this is the Easton's Bible Dictionary.
Okay.
And the way these Bible dictionaries work is you're not going to get that one line definition. It's almost more of a commentary type overview or a study Bible type where you'll take one portion, or in this case for Bible dictionary, one word, and they'll give you 3 or 4 paragraphs of a definition. And there's a few things in that Easton's Bible Dictionary that I thought was very intriguing and explained it very well. And so I want to point out a few of those things.
Okay.
So the first one is that faith is a result of teaching and or knowledge.
Okay.
So yes, when we accept Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior,
okay,
we develop that relationship with Him. And it requires faith in order to have that relationship with Him. But in order to build that faith, we need to build our relationship with Jesus. And the way you build your relationship, the way you increase your faith, and again, faith is trusting in what you don't see.
Right.
So the way you build your trust in Jesus is by getting to know Him better. The only way you can get to know Jesus better is by studying your Bible, is by going to sermons, going to church, listening to other people teach and preach on the Bible, on Jesus, going to Bible studies, and just spending time in prayer with the Lord. Doing these things. This is the Beatitudes. This is what we were talking about in the Beatitudes.
Right.
The way, building that relationship, building that knowledge, building that understanding is how you develop a better relationship. But through that better relationship, you develop better faith, a deeper faith. So those two kind of run hand in hand. But the second thing I want to point out is that, yes, knowledge and understanding are important, but knowledge and understanding are not the same thing as faith. They are separate.
Right.
So you could be somebody who spends your entire life studying the Bible, studying scripture, studying. You guys don't realize this. The Bible is very intricate. There's a lot of different things, a lot of different connecting links going all over the place in the Bible. You could spend.
And I didn't realize that as much until we did the genealogy, because we did.
Yes.
We literally jumped from Matthew to Genesis
spent a lot of time in
oh
Genesis
my gosh, all over the place. So yeah.
And so that's the way it is. There's a lot of cross references going all throughout the Bible. So you could be somebody who spent your entire life studying all these cross references, making all these connections, and doing all this stuff, and gain this
complete knowledge.
Yes, this amazing amount, this incalculable amount of knowledge when it comes to Bible, and have this deep understanding of the way the Bible works.
But that doesn't mean that you've got faith.
That doesn't mean you have faith.
Yeah.
So the difference is the way you take that knowledge and that understanding and turn it into faith. The best example I have is myself. Growing up in the Catholic Church, I went to church every week. I outwardly would say, yes, I believe in Jesus. I'm a Christian. But inwardly, I know through my young adult life, I questioned a lot of things. A lot of things didn't make sense to me. And so even though outwardly I was doing the Catholic thing, I was going to church every Sunday, I didn't read my Bible. I didn't go to Bible studies. I didn't watch Bible studies. I was just doing the minimum to check that box, which is going to church every Sunday. Which that's not all Catholics even do that much.
I mean, really, well, if you don't do that much, but I agree with you. What we did was for that box checking was if you had communion for the week as a Catholic.
Yep.
You could sit there and you could listen to the readings that they had, and you could listen to and you could be involved in the prayer and the music and all that. But if you got communion on Sunday, then that was your check mark for that week.
So, and that's how we grew up.
Yeah.
That was our belief.
Yes.
But I never had that inwardly acceptance of Jesus. So I never took that knowledge and understanding. I mean, even though I hardly listened to the sermons on Sundays, but I didn't make that connection between what I learned to what my personal belief was. So it's whenever you grow in that understanding. It's going back to the idea of the person who spends their entire life studying the Bible. They can have all this knowledge, but until they make that inward decision that yes, I actually believe all this knowledge that I require or that I acquired from the Bible, all this understanding, unless you accept that in your heart. So there has to be a connection between your mind and your heart. So once those two agree, and by mind, I'm the mind is the knowledge and understanding, your heart being your free will, your personal beliefs, just who you are. Until those two connect and agree with each other, then you're not going to have faith. But it's that connection between the two, saying, yes, I accept this knowledge and understanding as truth.
And you could almost say, couldn't you also say it's more for your heart, it's like a desire?
Yeah.
Like for me, like I have the knowledge and I believe, but it's the desire to want to learn more, the desire to say, okay, I don't need to read the entire Bible. I need a passage this morning, while I'm sitting there. I need a passage, and I just wanted to take that, and I just want to have, I want to take a deep dive into that. What does it mean? Because sometimes the Bible can be very confusing.
Yes.
Very confusing. But if you have access, everyone has access to their smartphones and to the internet, and you just take that passage and you put it into your search engine, and there's so many things that come up that can help you at the right sites to explain what that passage means to me on an understanding that I can relate to.
Yes.
So that's a whole nother thing. You have that desire. Once you know that, yes, this is very overwhelming. The Bible is very overwhelming when you first open it because you think you have to start in Genesis and read all the way through until you know that you don't have to do that. And you can just take a passage today, whatever it be, Romans 6:12, and you take Romans 6:12 and you read it and you're like, I don't know, but I've got this desire to want to know what that means.
Yeah.
Then you can put all that together and it helps to build that faith.
And that's exactly what we're talking about before. That is a personal Bible study. So you're taking this one passage and you're doing a deep dive on this one passage in order to get that deeper understanding. And then you can take that deeper understanding and then take it to Romans 6:13 and then Romans 6:14 and or even take it back to
Matthew, and then it takes you to Genesis, and then it takes you to Ezekiel. Like you have no idea where it's going to take you.
That is sometimes fun to start following this rabbit hole. It's like, okay, well, what does this mean? And where does this come from? And then you follow that link back to this Old Testament reference. Then you read this Old Testament reference, and it's referring to a prophecy that's jumping you back forward to something else. And sometimes if you can get on one of those trails, it's actually a lot of fun if you do the work and the in-depth. But that's the weirdness that I bring to this podcast.
Right. And I take the simple thing. Like I said, one passage, focus, stay on this. What does it mean? How can it relate to me? And once you have that desire is there. And like I said, then that helps to build your faith with all of it. Yes. So you got about 30 seconds.
All All right, we're just going to stop there.
You want to go right there?
Yeah, because once we get into this third type, there's more scripture that I want to read.
Okay.
And I think that's going to take too much time.
Well, I think it's a good place to stop because I think people can understand and maybe relate to what we were talking to as well. And
so, yes. So, just to summarize, what we were just covering is mind, heart, faith. Agreeing with one another is where faith comes in.
Yep. Fantastic. All right, so we are out of time, but we thank you for joining us. Please leave a comment on this video, or you can contact us on our webpage at purefaithliving.com. Send us a message there. And as always, if you like what you hear, then we ask that you share this show with others so we can all work together in spreading the good news of Jesus Christ. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will talk to you again next time.
Have a blessed day, everybody.